Good afternoon, Mr. Shakya.
Hello. Yeah.
You are the national coordinator for Tourism Year 2011. Uh, the first question is going to be a little difficult. Can you just tell us how difficult is this 2011 going to be from 1998, which was Visit Nepal year?
I think 1998, there was total peace in this country because we had just got out of the 1990 revolution, which we call Revolution Number One. And 1998 was 8 years after the first revolution, and it was relatively very peaceful, everything was good. But 2011, we've gone through a lot of insurgency, there's a lot of political instability, so definitely it's a very difficult time, and Nepal has been in the negative news for so many years with the Maoist insurgency, with the Royal Massacre, and so it was a big challenge. But again, every challenge also is an opportunity, and I think Nepal Tourism Year, for me as the national coordinator, has become, after 70 months of 2011, I think it has become an opportunity because in spite of all the odds, the tourist increase last year, 2010, compared to 2009, was almost 20%. And this year we have so far 25% for the last 7 months. So I think, if everything was fine, we do not need a Nepal tourism year. But because we have had so many odd happening in the country and been in the negative news, it was probably also the right time if we look at from the other perspective. So I think we have a 1 million tourist target, but we will land up probably about 800,000 tourists this year from the 500,000 when it was announced. So relatively the figure shows that there is confidence again in the travelers, which they may have lost during all the negative period of our political upheaval.
How far is the participation from the private sector in this initiative, and how much is the government supporting it?
Well, a lot of people ask me this question over and over again. What is so different between 2010 and 2011, or 2009 and 2011? I think for us, Nepal Tourism Year was more for Nepal. And if you see our slogan, our domestic slogan is Together for Tourism, Tourism for Prosperity, and Prosperity for Peace, which really, I think, is a very appropriate our slogan, because we are not looking at Nepal Tourism Year as just another tourism bonanza, but actually trying to bring peace by bringing people together for the sake of tourism. So I think from that angle, we've achieved very well. And we've got commitment from political parties, and I think it's basically because of that confidence building that the number increase, and especially from India and China. And the private sector, of course, they have their regular programs, but this year I think the private sector also many private sector are hosting different kinds of events, activities, not only the people in the travel trade. We've had programs like Brian Adams come here, Kailash Kher, who is also our goodwill ambassador for Nepal Tourism Year. So a lot of events took place, and I think that basically is what Tourism Year or Visit Year is all about.
Sir, from interacting with you, we have found that you are quite close to the government officials as far as the Nepal Tourism Board goes. So if you were to say that the government is lacking in some respect, or they have to like bring to the table something, Like what would that be?
For example, we were supposed to have launched our consumer advertisement. That is one thing that Nepal Tourism Year would have been so different than the other years. Mostly our promotion is B2B, meaning that we go to travel shows, travel fairs, and it's business to business and not so much consumer. But because it is Nepal Tourism Year, even the government has come out with a fairly good amount of funds for consumer advertisement on television and newspapers, hoardings, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, everything is so delayed. We haven't been able to, it's already 7 months, and our advertisements are still on hold because of the late budget. And then also government funds are not so easy to expend like private funds. You've got to go through this process. It takes almost 3 to 4 months just to have the process. So I think one of the biggest challenges for me as a private sector working in a almost government-controlled Nepal Tourism Secretariat has been, the procedure. And I think that's probably true with most of the governments. They are not so worried about the result, they're so worried about the procedure. And I think for events like these, which come once in 5 years or 10 years, the one thing that I think we would have to change if we have to have another very successful and on-time events is that we cannot function at the speed of the government decision-making bureaucracy.